Hi everybody. Hey listen, today I was cruising around the internet, mostly on YouTube, and I came across these two videos that blew my mind. These two particular videos came from our friends over at the Atlantis Report. Now, I don't know a whole lot about the Atlantis Report, so I went on YouTube to check out their channel and see what their About Me page was all about. And here's a portion of their About Me page so you'll know who they are. It says here, the Atlantis Report brings you the latest information about the economy, politics, and the markets. We are proud to be a source of real news that you can trust. So the two videos I'm talking about really opened my eyes about what could possibly be going on around me and me not even know, possibly you not even knowing. What I mean by that is the content on both of these videos bring up, for me anyways, more questions than they do answers. Guys, take a look at the video, stay till the end, let me know what you think. This is about the unemployment fiasco that's going on around the country, and this is just a point of view the Atlantis Report is throwing out there. I must warn you, it is a robot voice doing the video, but I have tried to manipulate it to speed it up and slow it down in portions so it sounds as close to human as possible. But please let me know what you think about it. I'm very interested in everybody's point of view. And understand, I don't have a point of view either way. I just came across it. I want to share it, and you guys start to think about what's going on, or you guys can start the conversation with that. I am not on either side of this video. I'm just sharing some information so you can see what I have seen. Okay? Thanks a lot. We'll see you at the end.
As American people's misery soars, the stock market had its best week ever. Millions of Americans driving nice vehicles are suddenly being forced to spend hours waiting in food banks lines because the fear of the corona has crashed our economy. Buried in debt and one paycheck away from homelessness. Big McMansion, a big SUV, and a BMW, both leased and headed to the repo man, new iPhones for every member of the family every year. We have a sick economy that is 70 to 75% dependent upon massive consumer debt to keep it afloat. The Fed Bank is set up to bail out the billionaires and not Main Street so that $1,200 won't go far. One new iPhone is all it will get them. The Fed is there for club members. The livestock is not in its mandate. Now we can all stop pretending that free markets exist and acknowledge that the stock market is nothing more than a Fed-backed casino for rubes and hustlers. Fake markets, fake recovery, fake fundamentals. The Fed has destroyed the world as we once knew it. Instead of allowing the chaff to fail, they're propping up the Dow with phony funny money. The government is trillions of dollars in debt to keep the illusion of prosperity going. This economic train wreck was bound to go off a cliff sooner or later. Congress just kicked the can for 2 decades, then the black swan arrived. Oh well. Kramer says, the bottom is in, BTFD. There will never be any place on earth with a middle class once it disappears in America. The last bastion in a world of poverty and extreme wealth. Banks are no longer in the business of making loans, but in the business of too big to fail. The Fed and Treasury are moving trillions around to keep the game going. All you working stiffs that lost your jobs can get by on $1,200. Plate spinning is not the way to run an economy. Welcome back to the Atlantis Report. Fed's calculus is simple. Print $8 trillion buying up assets. Inflate asset prices. Wait for COVID to blow over. Sell said assets for $6 trillion back to those that offloaded them to the Fed. This whole fiasco cost us $2 trillion. Win. That's how they do math over there. They don't care about the long-term effects on savers. So, we have banks that are too big to fail. And now, bonds that are too crappy to fail. If the Fed can literally just print money out of thin air, backed by nothing, and then buy junk bonds and crap stocks, why do we even need taxes? Not rhetorical, the big boys have created a magical reality in which they create fake money, lend or grant it to themselves, grow rich beyond imagination, while the vast majority of the population barely ekes by. Since it's a completely circular system that enriches the 1% in perpetuity, why do we need to pay taxes? The system clearly isn't real. The money isn't real. There's no risk to the elite as every failure is simply met with more fake money thrown at them. Why can't they just keep this circle jerk to themselves? Again, would someone please explain to me why taxes are necessary for a system of fake money? I literally don't understand how this garbage economic system works anymore. How much more, in your face, is this gonna get? This is money printing for the wealthy. What good does artificially boosted equity prices do for Mr. and Mrs. Joe Sixpack, who live paycheck to paycheck and have little to no equity? Frankly, I am surprised they continue to take being shafted like this. All banks receiving aid should be outlawed from making a profit, paying bonuses or high wages. Just let them fail. Isn't that how capitalism works? Companies that deliver a product or service that people want and can afford flourish. Those that make poor decisions or deal dishonestly go under. It's harsh medicine, but it clears out the poison and serves as an object lesson. Yes, the hedge fund managers need bailouts. They should face ruin and prison before a single cent of taxpayer-funded bailouts goes to these parasites. How much did they distribute to the rest of us when they were making money hand over fist? And what do hedge funds do? Nothing but suck blood from healthy people and businesses. Hedge funds are, by definition, the only business that should never lose money and can actually make a killing in a downturn. These crooks collect money both ways. The hedge funds, like most financial entities, are economic parasites and should be illegal. They'll get the money. That's the way the system rolls. They get the money, we get the bill. When you make the abnormal normal, you can expect aberrations to be pockets of opportunity for those who are opportunists. Now, who could that be? The Fed is now purchasing BB-rated corporate bonds. If you know anything about bonds, a BB grade isn't exactly high quality despite the fact that it is deemed to be investment grade. The Fed is far past the point of no return. The Fed is working exceedingly hard to protect the wealth of the elite. Once the Fed, aka the state, owns everything literally, then we're all immediately communists. Isn't that awesome? The reason we are where we are today is that the government, banks have been stealing all excess money people have and then some. So they, in fact, generated the position many people find themselves in then as the economy looked to be destroyed through the virus, i.e., no workers and collapsing healthcare. They decided to shutter the economy. It was be damned if you do or if you didn't. This is how the central government will rule the world. Bail out those who obey and allow the other to go bankrupt, regardless of merit, because an honest business cannot compete with unlimited funny money. This is how they rule the world. People need to realize the banks, Fed, politicians, the deep state put them in this position demanding socialist dependency but never hedged against a disaster. Now people are fucked with no income and no way to support themselves as the politicians and the rest all now run and hide. For the top elites, recessions and depressions are the ideal opportunities to convert others' valuable physical assets onto their balance sheets. Mostly because they enjoy proprietary information monopolies with which they confront average investors. They operate as networks to aggregate cash and scale opportunity, and they have the liquidity to survive the short-term chaos that forces 99.99% of investors to sell. Not being able to rent or collect rent for a few months is, for them, a buying opportunity. The Fed is working hard to keep this epic everything bubble from blowing a gigantic hole in the global economy, which would result in busted pension funds, mass bankruptcies, and mass unemployment, the utter failure of state and local government finances, emerging market meltdown, and all the riots and chaos and complete anarchy all that would produce. Preventing or at least delaying massive death and destruction on a global scale is the main objective. They will ultimately fail to achieve that objective. I get asked for investment advice a lot, often by my viewers. Here's my advice. 1. Don't put a dime into the stock market. Invest in yourself, take a class, get a certification, self-study for the career you have and the career you'd like to have, and do it every single day. 2. Stop complying with the system, starve the beast that is about to devour you. 3. Become your own central bank by purchasing gold and silver for the rainy days. 4. Borrow very little money. That's how we start. Hardship comes when people rely heavily on credit and forget the beauty of savings. The trillions pumped into the system will lower yields on the poor people's savings accounts to 0.02%, breadcrumbs for you people. We are on the road to Zimbabwe, the system is failing apart. CEOs will take record bonuses as your taxpayer money flows into the stock market to boost their bonus stock options. Bush equals Obama equals Trump. Greenspan equals Geithner equals Bernanke equals Yellen equals Powell. Poor taxpayers equals poor taxpayers equals poor taxpayers. Trump is no different. If he had stipulated anyone who got money would be barred from exec bonuses for 5 years, he would actually be a pro-middle class to some extent. He failed. At some point drain, the swamp turned into drain the treasury. The Federal Reserve is losing the war on keeping the public's faith in paper money. They might be winning the battle on bailouts, but more and more people are turning to physical gold and silver as primary savings account instead of a bank account. The FDIC says no one has ever lost a penny, true. But people have lost purchasing power by keeping money in the bank, and a lot of it. Sure, the statement still has all the numbers on it, but you can't get as much for it now as when you put the money in the bank, hence the FDIC is willfully ignorant and wrong. It's not like the dollar's value is etched in stone either. All currencies are traded on the markets, so staying in paper money doesn't guarantee you anything as the currency can be sold off. This event is being used to remove the veil that's been hiding what America has been for decades, probably since 1913 in some form. What that is a totalitarian state in which a tiny minority controls all of the power, all of the media, all of the finance, and soon, all of the real estate. Do you know what we'll be then? Communists, whether we like it or not. Once they own everything and we're dependent on them for handouts, we're slaves and communists, which is what they've been moving towards under the guise of their New World Order all these years. And Trump, Obama, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Reagan, Carter, Ford, Nixon, and Johnson have been in on it to some degree. Wall Street and hedge fund businesses, they do not deserve bailouts for poor investments and trading. Get as much physical gold and silver as you can get your hands on, and yes, it's very late in the game, but you can still acquire both silver and gold. Because these criminal bastards are going to burn up the counterfeit presses with the amount they're going to create. When they're done taking the dollar to zero, then at least you'll have real money to use in the black market, i.e., free market. Because there will always be somebody providing something of value in exchange for silver or gold, no matter how bad these criminal pricks destroy this economy and the dollar. This was the Atlantis Report.
Hey, thanks a lot for staying till the end of the video. Pretty mind-blowing stuff, huh? So let me know what you think about the whole video. Any comments, questions you may have, please put it down in the comments so I can understand what everybody else is thinking also. If you enjoyed this video, stick around because this video right here is the other video that I was speaking of, the one that blew my mind. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our videos. Stay tuned. I've got another fast fact video coming right up.